Yeah, sad but true.
Yeah, exactly. We cut from that to our first opening contest, which I will admit, WWE does know, the crowd that they're in front of and the show that they want to put on, because this is a nice opening contest, a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, this
Uh,
was real cute, WWE. Put on a bunch of crap and then throw one match that has amazing performers in it at us, and you just expect us to forgive you? Well, let me tell you something. I forgive you.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, these three guys went out there, and considering it was TV and the Intercontinental and all that stuff, really tore the house
You
down. But
didn't
these
even
three
feel
guys,
like finishing that thought.
I was gonna say, saying these three guys, I should probably specifically address who they are. Of course, the champion Dolph
No, I
Ziggler,
I know what you said, but there was the considering as these guys in the Intercontinental, you just didn't feel like finishing
and
the
the
sentence.
Intercontinental Championship and a Monday Night Raw, like all those elements, you don't
Uh,
really know like what you're gonna get.
that was
But
fun.
yeah, it was Dolph Ziggler as the champion, The Miz with his return match because he had lost it, the week before, and Cesaro, who had gotten screwed on SmackDown after winning a Battle Royal. Now, the interesting thing to note, I don't want to make it this big puff piece of something that's probably not even going to turn into anything, but Renee did an interview with Dolph, and he even acknowledged. Like, he's done some pretty underhanded things lately to hold on to the Intercontinental Championship, but he knows he's capable of going out there, stealing the show and doing it, I guess, the right way, so to speak, or as a champion should, for lack of a better term. And these guys, yeah, they go out, they have a great match. I like the pinning sequences, everybody trying to get schoolboys off of one another and stuff like that.
Yeah, because
Um,
that's gonna work with another freaking guy in the ring.
yeah, exactly. Actually, one of the worst parts of the match, and I say this nitpickingly, actually did come from Ziggler, believe it or not, because he tried applying a figure four, and yeah, it didn't look too good.
So is nitpickingly an actual adverb, or did you make that up?
Well, if it isn't, it is now. That's the answer I have to that question. Cesaro broke that up because Damien Sandow taught me to screw English, because when you're intellectual, you can do whatever the hell you want. So, Cesaro broke that up, though, with a nice-looking double stomp. Cesaro pretty much beasted this match. I even said at one
Yeah.
point to Ashton, I was kind of hoping he would do a double delayed, like, standing vertical suplex. We didn't get that, but we got something almost as good because Miz tried coming off the top rope at one point, and he got met with an uppercut to the face.
Yeah, and
So,
that ended up winning the match because Ziggler, continuing his heel tactics, super kicked Cesaro and then picked up the pin on the Miz.
see, now I'm glad you said it like that, Ashton, because I did kind of want to talk to you about this. Are we seeing a very slow burning kind of turn
I
for
think that
Dolph
we're
Ziggler?
seeing a more of an Eddie Guerrero turn than a heel turn.
I think that's perfect for Dolph, though. I do.
Yeah,
If you're right on the money about that, I'm going to say I'm a fan of that already.
yeah.
Because you know what? Because let's be honest. And here's the thing. To me, it makes perfect sense when we look at the recent, just story, if you will, of Dolph Ziggler. He's a guy that always comes so close and always ends in heartbreak and is always down on himself and always
Although I
wants.
will say I did see a little bit of a teaser on Reddit about somebody who said that he should team up with Summer Rae and they should just be an awesome self-realized, self-aware heel team.
And I love your Eddie Guerrero suggestion so much more, though, because I think it fits with the story better.
Right. I mean,
Because, like,
that would be great, but if the WWE is going for the heel turn for Ziggler, I think that if they're going to do a heel turn in any way, teaming him up with Summer Rae is the best way, and that rhymed way too much.
so let me just get it right out in the open then, because I know you just qualified it saying like that. I mean, generally speaking, how do you feel about Dolph Ziggler turning? Because honestly, considering the reactions he gets, I'm not so sure if I'm all for it unless they can do it in a playful, entertaining way. Hence why you said like an Eddie Guerrero type turn, because that's the
Right.
perfect example. So, I mean, how do you feel about it?
I'm not really a fan of the idea of taking literally one of your top 3 babyface acts in the company right now and turning him heel. But on that same note, I'm not surprised by it. It's the WWE. Anytime somebody starts to get hot as a babyface, if they start to get up into that Cena range, the WWE tries to squash the heat as quickly as possible.
I guess I could be. See, but that would be a lie, though. I can't lie to myself, because I'd say that I'd be okay with it if we do a kind of trade-off, you know? Like, Dolph doing this stuff may turn Cesaro babyface,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like, I'd be okay
And
with
you
that
know
in one
what?
respect.
Speaking of a Cesaro babyface, he teased the spin tonight.
He did.
He teased the
Against Dolph.
spin, and then the Miz, I forget, I think, the Miz hit him in a big boot in the face, and because he fell backwards, it ended up launching Ziggler like a catapult. It actually was a really cool sequence in this match.
It's weird that they may be doing, and maybe not even directly in a match, which is why I'm intrigued if we're going to get Cesaro Ziggler at Hell in a Cell. Because I'm thinking if we're going to kind of go this double turn route of Cesaro just always like coming close and Ziggler being just a little underhanded, just a little bit to hold on to it, if we're going to see it explode and like Ziggler being heel, Cesaro being baby.
I was just going to say, you got to realize this is the WWE. They don't know how to do the little tiny subtle things very, very well. That's more up to the talents than the WWE, because if it was up to Vince, Ziggler would frickin' go grab a chair and start just wailing away on Cesaro to kind of go through with the double turn. So I don't think they're going to handle this with the most sensitivity, but I do think that they might do a very well done double turn where Ziggler kind of over the course of a couple months just constantly gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier, and eventually gets to the point that Ziggler, like, in one match he'll grab the trunks, in one match he'll do a freaking eye rake, and one, and it just kind of keeps on progressing, and eventually Cesaro just kind of has enough of it, and he just dominates Ziggler from bell to bell and picks up the title.
And see, to return to my original thought, because I feel like I started giving my opinion, but then I got sidetracked. I guess I can be okay with Dolph turning it if Cesaro becomes a babyface, but it comes back to your point, Ashton, because I feel like you said it so perfectly. Dolph's reactions recently, he is one of the top babyfaces in this company, bar none. People love Dolph Ziggler. They love what he's about. They love what he represents. For him to turn, and I hate using this word because it makes me sound just so bad, I guess. I would hate to say like such a mark, but maybe that is the appropriate term. It would almost feel dirty seeing Dolph turn, because I think he's that kind of babyface that he really does, I think, represent us and like the common fan more than most do. I'd say it's like him and like the Daniel Bryan types. So to see him turn, it would just seem really weird.
Isn't that kind of how the Shield felt too?
Oh, definitely. Without question. I mean, Ashton, in the weeks leading up to it, because you and I knew it was coming, you and I just didn't want to say goodbye. For me, it was like that summer love I never wanted to end, with the Shield, because I loved him so much. And then seeing Rollins be the one to do the turn, when I thought that he'd be like the Jeff Hardy type and just be like so much fun. Like, how could you turn a guy like Rollins when he's that good?
Well, isn't that kind of the same sentiment that you're having about Ziggler now, though?
And there you go. Yeah. See, look at that. And I think you're right on the nose. It's really weird for me. And granted, I like Seth as a heel. I still don't know if I totally buy into it at times, so maybe I'd get around to it for Ziggler, because, I mean, Ziggler entered this business a heel anyway. But, so I know he could pull it off, and, because he's been a heel so many years. I just don't know if at this point I'd like seeing it again, because I've just really liked what he's done as a babyface. But the final note I want to make, because I don't want to stay on that too long, that could be a whole commentary in itself, a whole episode of Twitwell in itself. Last point I want to make about this match, Damien Mizdow is a delight.
Yeah.
He is so on point with all of the it is ridiculous. All of the impersonations just right down.
If the WWE wants people to buy their app, they need to have a Damien Mizdow Cam only available through the app.
Yes, there you go. And they could just go through like an entire day with Miz and Mizdow. And Damien Mizdow.
No, I don't mean the entire day. I just mean during the Miz's matches, have a camera fixated on Mizdow and put that feed on the app.
That'd be great. Yeah, that I think is a great selling point. That's a terrific idea. I really like that, because at the end of the match, Miz was holding the leg and crying out in pain, and Damien just did it perfectly right beside him, holding that leg, crying out in pain. It is a great act. We were talking about baby faces and heels with Cesaro and Ziggler. I mean, you and I have discussed the same thing with Miz and Sandow. Is Sandow going to turn babyface eventually and just be sick of the Miz's crap and go back to being his own man and just embrace the crowd?
Eventually.
I think eventually, yes, he will.
If
But
there is such thing as a slow burn, we're witnessing with Damien. We are witnessing it with Damien Mizdow.
Yeah, I think he is just a great comedy act, so I definitely just wanted to give him my praise. Ashton, is there anything you want to say about this match or our discussions? Any exclamation points you want to put on it, or do you want to move on?
I will say this. I like that they are kind of creating a division between the Intercontinental and U.S. titles and kind of pawning the Miz off on Sheamus now and leaving Cesaro to Ziggler. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but that we got a major hint tonight that going forward, rather than Miz versus Ziggler, since the Miz was the one that got pinned tonight, we're going to have Ziggler versus Cesaro, since Cesaro got screwed on Friday and tonight. And the Miz is going to move on to Sheamus and his United States Championship because of the Sheamus Mizdow thing that we got tonight later.
And that really tells you, like, that just gave all the clarity in the world as to where the mid-card championships stand. Because even if you want to look at Night of Champions with the two defenses, Sheamus and Cesaro were able to go out there and have a clinic, and I felt like they got a nice amount of time. And Miz and Ziggler, well, I felt like they got a good amount of time too. I don't know. I felt like the United States bout kind of beat them out.
Right.
I'd like to look at official times just to really confirm that. So yeah, that's a great point, Ashton. I think that just really crystallizes the rankings, the hierarchy, if you will, of the two belts. So yeah, I am very much looking forward to a Cesaro Ziggler feud for the Intercontinental Championship. I think those could lead to some great pay-per-view and TV bouts. As far as Miz Sheamus, I won't write that off either. I think they could do some great stuff with Sheamus really wanting to brogue kick Miz in the Moneymaker,
Yep.
and Miz just constantly protecting it. So I think both stories have quite a bit of
potential.
potential.
I feel like that exact storyline has been done within the last 4 months.
Well, kind of, because Miz and Sheamus have had interactions in the past.
Yeah.
So it's not like they've been kept away from each other for this moment, like, okay, guys, now you can feud over the U.S. title. In fact, upon Miz's return, Sheamus was one of the earliest guys he got a win off of. So, and Sheamus has competed against Damien Mizdow a couple times. Hell, he competed against him tonight. And that just reminded me, yeah, that was a thing. So, these guys, they've had quite a few interactions with each other already. Now for the belt, it should be interesting. So, yeah.
Yes, it should.
So, yeah, that was the opener. And what do we have next, Ashton?